Hello, everyone. Author DL Tillery here, the Mistress of Horror, and welcome back to my live streams. And I'm here for the Sunday 6 p.m. Eastern Direct Time live stream. Let's get a little bit of writing done, chat about those things in between and all the happenings that's going on with us, and get that work done. So, I will be doing some reading tonight, some reading sprints actually, and because I have a group read that I'm doing, so that's coming up. So I want to make sure I get that book done, ahead of time because I have to take notes and stuff. So I'm going to be reading that. I already had started it, but I want to try to read that. Just give the 2 hours with the sprints to that. So I'll be doing that, and it's a nonfiction book, writing type of book. So I'm going to be working on that, reading that, getting that finished, and get some notes in. So that's what I'll be doing for this stream. If you missed my uploads today for the channel, I did, of course, it's the second Sunday of the month, so that means it's time for the writer's vlog. I have 3 different thumbnails for this, so I don't know which one YouTube is using because whichever one, people float to the best. So my writer's vlog, the year-end wrap-up. So I talked about what I wrote this year, what I read this year, my plans for 26, and just the stuff in between. But that's that. If you want to check that out, it's on my channel now. It was uploaded earlier today. And I did put out a new short in the Zodiac Romance Supernatural Shorts series. So if you want to check that out, then it's there for you to do so. If you end up getting this on live instead of on replay, and then let me know what you worked on or am working on if you're catching it live. And if you're catching it on replay, leave a comment to let me know what you worked on or what you just hanging out with the stream. Alrighty, I am going to go ahead and prepare, get the timer up here, get this up here so people know who popping in know that I'm middle of a sprint. Let's see. I'm going to add this to the screen. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and just jump right in on the first sprint to go ahead and get started on time, actually, which is good. And then I'll see you in 30 minutes. If you come in the middle, then you know what's happening. Let me know what you're working on in the comment in this chat, because if it's live in this chat. If you're going to watch this on replay, then you can let me know what you worked on in the comment section. So, alrighty, see you in 30 minutes. Happy writing. And that is time. I have a couple minutes to chat if you would like. I read about 10 pages because I'm also taking notes while I'm reading, so a little bit slower than I usually am if I'm not taking darn notes, that is. Aphrodite popped in while I was sprinting. Said I'm working on my 2026 schedule tonight. Looking forward to 2026. I feel you, so am I. I feel like my channel has been asleep. Yeah, sometimes channels go to sleep for a little while. They can. So yeah, I did my book and my end review, my year end review today. So that's up on my channel. I talked about what I read and what I wrote this year and publications that I did manage to do, though it did not match what I planned to do originally because, all life stuff. And then I talked about my somewhat plans for 2026 as far as publishing and things of that nature. Because I'll have 3 pen names to juggle at that time. I have another pen name that I haven't introduced, but that's for my children's to YA stuff. So, but I'm focusing on romance and erotica a good amount next year, along with my horror releases. But that stuff is all written. I just need to get it edited and work out this kinks and stuff. So that video came out today. So if anyone wants to check it out, you know where to go, right here on this channel. That's where. Let's see. Aphrodite said, but it needed to rest, so it is what it is. Yeah, I get that. It happens. Oh, and the book I'm reading is called Writing Deep Scenes. I think it's like, what is it? Plotting your story through action, emotion, and theme. So I'm not that far into the book because I'm reading it for the group read I'm doing with SD Houston and Ben Pitt, which we need to, I think we record, I think 20 something. I can't remember which date it is, but I have it written down somewhere. So I'm trying to read that, and that's what I'm reading. It's nonfiction, obviously, but I mean, it's so far it seems to be quite beginnerish, even though it says writing deep scenes. I don't need any help with writing scenes or deep scenes, whatever the case is, but it never hurts to have writer education books. It doesn't hurt to have those. So I have quite a few, like I have Stephen King's on writing. I have a lot of Dale L. Roberts books, all his books. I have them either ebook or physical or both. And I think I have one of Jenna Moressi's books, her first nonfiction book that she wrote. I have that one. I have a few ones that are horror based because people purchase them for me. I haven't really read many of those. And a few other ones. So I have all like my writer educational writing tool books and stuff like that. But yeah, it doesn't hurt to read more and other people's perspectives and the teachings of how people teach these things. So I decided to go ahead and read with them. So we're gonna do a discussion of the book when that. So I'm taking notes while I'm reading it. So, but the beginning of it seems very stuff you learn early on. Some things you don't. Some people don't learn. I guess it depends on if they went to college for writing, creative writing, or not. I had creative writing in high school. I was homeschooled, so it was easier to have a major during that time. So my major for high school was creative writing. So I learned a lot of stuff about that in journalism during my high school years. And when I first applied for college when I was 17, it was specifically for writing programs. So I did get accepted, but I was too young to get accepted 100 at the time. So I had filled out the stuff and all this and took some of the tests to see if I would be able to get in. And I did. I would. They say you're just too young for their school specifically to get in early. So I had they for theirs it was oh, you had to wait, you couldn't go early or something. So So you kind of learn all that stuff. You can learn this stuff that the book is talking about, listen, at least at the beginning. So, and so it's interesting enough though. Aphrodite, I get them not so much for me, but for me to help others. Yeah, I don't really. I get them just because, you know what I mean. Like it's good to me. It's good to have them just like on my desk. I have them on my desk, and I have them like. Well, I got too many now to have them on my desk, but um, I do like to have them sometimes, or sometimes there's an indie author that I'm supporting that's doing nonfiction. But in other cases, it's just because just to have it. Only ones I think I would like to have on my desk, like my grammar and something book, uh, editing basics, like stuff like that I keep on my desk. The other stuff is mostly because I was supporting the author or somebody I liked who wrote. Like I bought Stephen King's On Writing just because I heard that it was good. I'm not the biggest Stephen King fan, to be honest with you, but I still bought it and it's a decent read. To help to teach others that I teach writing at CCF. I know, and I like to give various perspectives since you never know what will resonate with someone. True enough, I usually when I teach, it's just usually just whatever, however I think about it. When I like do workshops and stuff at writing conferences and everything, it's mostly just however I formulate the concept of how to do this or how to do that. Because I mean, anybody can come at something from a different perspective, and it could obviously resonate with somebody. But if they're not going to resonate with whatever way I do it, it's not much I can do. They can obviously go to somebody else because there's so many people, and everybody has something to teach. That's for sure. So I'm almost done. I am almost done writing my own that may get published in the next year. Cool. I haven't. I've written down a lot of stuff, but I haven't decided to publish a nonfiction, like book. Only nonfiction I had thought about publishing was like a memoir of my the time that me and my family were homeless. I thought about doing that to help people who have gone through that emotionally. But I may once I'm not in the thick of my fiction publishing, like if I'm on a light year, I might do a nonfiction of some of the somewhat concepts that I do for my workshops, like dump the idea, my ship blueprint. Like I had made up this whole theory for like the idea before the writing. I had a workshop like that, and I usually use this theory of a ship's blueprint or a blueprint. Pretty much I use the ship as the analogy, and that's how I structured it before I got to plotting, because I wasn't always a plotter. So I might do that one day for writing a nonfiction. So I very much dislike Stephen King, but I love or write it. It was good advice. Yeah. We feel that. We agree on that. I'm not a personal Stephen King fan. Like some people, do like Stephen King. I guess maybe on personals they could. Me not knowing his like all the things that I have found out about him, I don't really. And watching his writing too, all his films I've seen, all the stuff based off his films, in the films he was directly involved with, because some of his stuff got remade when he was involved, because when he wasn't involved, they butchered the side of it. But like Stephen King is controversial in today's world. He may not have been as controversial in his day, though he should have been, but I'm sure to some people he was controversial then. And I say controversial because Stephen King always puts children in all his stuff. Most of all his stuff. Not everything, but it's a big margin for a lot of his works, especially his well-known works. And it being one of the main ones that I have issue with, I take up issue with, because no matter how he defends it, that scene in the book was unnecessary. Like, no matter how you slice it, there's no way he could explain it why he chose to do what he did. I don't trust him. I'd be like side-eyeing him. It's not even funny, but I would be side-eyeing him, especially with the whole Hollywood scene and how everybody they turn around, somebody comes out as like an offender, and like he had that instance with Drew Barrymore and stuff like that. But then him writing a whole like little orgy scene with children, I'm like, no, no, Stephen King. Like, you can't explain that one away, no matter how you did. He tried to be like, well, because they was like, they had to do this ritual to get out of the place. No, they didn't. No, they did. Like, you're not going to ever get me to explain that one to me. You're not going to explain that one away. That was a choice. Like, you didn't have to write that. What you talking about, sir? No, I don't care. So, yeah, he will get a bombastic side eye for me going forward once I had read that. And I read that when I was like, whew, I don't know, forever ago. I still own a copy of it. Rather newer version of it. I guess I had it for about a good 15 years. Of the copy I have is huge too, by the way. I didn't mention Stephen King does a lot of telling. He does omniscient narrator telling. Like, it is like a terrible example of that, in my opinion. Of course, some people love it, but like, he tells like the whole entire first half of the book, like with all the kids, like he's just telling the whole thing. It's omniscient narration, but nonetheless, it doesn't feel like the characters are doing any of this. Like, it's just the narrator's just telling you constantly. So I'm like, I'm not really into that, and that's a reader's choice, obviously. But like, I don't know. Anyway, just my 2 cents as a reader on that one. I have quite a few of his novels. I've read a lot of his bigger name stuff, and I'm kind of like, he's all right. And when he talked about horror, like, he was like, I don't. And then they said, well, it was an interview that was when it was like a long time ago now. I mean, he's older now. But I think he might have been in his 40s, maybe around my age, when that interview came out. He said he don't think he wrote horror, and he said he more writes suspense, because he said horror is just like to gross you out. And I'm like, look at you talking about horror and you don't understand it. like you write horror, you're supposed to be a master of horror, and that's what you thought. I don't care if it was like, well, that's an old interview. Nah, if he ever thought that, he didn't understand what he was writing. He don't understand horror. I hope he don't still think that, because that's not what horror is. It's just not the case. Horror is not just like, oh, it's just to gross you out. Like, that's, you don't know anything about horror, sir. You call yourself a master. That's crazy. Like I said, I just don't like his work. Yeah, I don't like his work. I don't dislike all his work. I prefer if he stayed away from children, though, because that's uncomfortable. I didn't dislike Dreamcatcher. I don't dislike The Dark Tower. The Stand and Storm the Century are some of his better stories. Bag of Bones was okay. His older stuff like Carrie is fine. I always thought the car one was lame. But that's a choice. Cujo, certain ones like fine, but I don't dislike all his works. I don't like it because of the whole thing with the shoulder. I don't care for that. I thought it was unnecessary. As a writer, I don't believe anything he says on that. Because that was a choice. He did not have to do that. He still could have had the situation occur if he wanted to. I don't know why you didn't think of that, but if he did, because it doesn't make collective sense. It's not a story that has to do with, it has a monster, a monster that is cosmic. But his connection of stories, though I think a lot of it came from the fandom and he kind of ran with it, but his connection of how his world works and how pretty much every creature in his stuff is the same creature. It pretty much is. I mean, that's not that magical and just something different, but his stuff is pretty connected. Like in The Stand, Randall Flagg they're speculating that Randall Flagg is also connected to like it and the Langoliers. They were like the ones that eat through time. So it, which is he is it, it is more of a female but male presenting, because it actually attacks a guy who was a clown. That's not its real form. It's just a guise that that it ate. The person that it ate and took that person's guise on. But all of them are connected, and even stuff in the Dark Tower. Even they try to even connect the Shawshank Redemption, which is his drama stuff, suspense stuff, not horror. They connected the Shawshank Redemption to Derry, which was its place where it was, and I don't think they connected. Yeah, but Shawshank Redemption is that one movie that he story that he wrote that became a movie. And so his stuff being connected, that's pretty cool. But like I still side eye him as a person. I'm not sure. Let's see, I don't like his work. Period. His style nor his tales move me. It's not for me. Yeah, I mean, if you're not into horror, because even though he don't understand horror, that's what he writing. You know what I mean? Um, that's yeah. You got to kind of be into horror to read King stuff. I would imagine. If you're not into horror, like, I would say no. I mean, he has written some other stuff that isn't horror, like The Green Mile and of course Shawshank Redemption. He has some other stuff that wasn't really into his non-horror stuff. I didn't read any of that, but and him as a person gets a big hell no. No, just saying, yeah. He very Hollywood. Don't really trust that. Um, he has an audience that's great for him as a writer. Yeah, of course he does. Just not a part of his audience and never will be. But not a put down, just not for me. I wish him nothing but continue writing. So you heard about that? I mean, Stephen King gonna keep that until he died, which is probably not far off because he is very old and up there at this point. Same as I feel for all creators. Yeah, definitely. Everybody keep succeeding, keep doing your thing. I will give King the fact that when he started and he had to write, he was writing like short tales and stuff for magazines back in the day when you could do that. More of that. You can still do it, but it's not as magazines aren't and newspapers aren't, like easy or something that people do too much of. Um, but I respect him as a writer for the fact that he went through those stages that we all are trying to go through and has made it where he has made it. So any writer that can make it to that point, I'm like, kudos to you for that, besides all the other things. Anyway. All right, so we can go ahead and jump in on our second sprint of the night. Let me go ahead and change to a different one. Let's see. I'm gonna go with my romantic one. One of my romantic ones. Dark romance anyway. Alright. Let's take this down and put this up. Alright, so if you're ready to go, we can go ahead and write another sprint or read because I'll be reading and working on this as a review. And I'll see you in 30 minutes. Happy writing. And that's time for the second sprint. Let me know how you did in the chat if you are working on anything. If you pop in on this, like when we're about to start the next sprint, then let me know what you're working on while writing with us tonight. I slowed up a little bit there because I had to take some notes, but I did write probably about 300 words and then read about 15 pages. It's a lot of different section breaks in here, which is useful. So you know where you want to make your notes at. It was an interesting part in this, and the story design part that talks about the concept is true, I believe. 4 parts to make up a book. You know, you always have a beginning, a middle, and the end. But the writer talked about the emerging middle and the deeper middle. So that's interesting concept and thought process, because technically it is, because the middle usually is bigger than the beginning and the end of the book. So that does make sense. So I actually like that. And then after that, the writer goes and breaks down the beginning, the emerging middle, the deeper middle, and then the end, which I think I like the way the book is structured. I actually do like the way this is broken down. It is quite detailed the way that they wrote that. So it's pretty good. After I said finishing up my writer's tag videos for next year, I have a bunch of cool new ones. Awesome. Who doesn't love a good tag video? So I'll see how much more I'll get read tonight, because we do have one more sprint in us to do. I really hate when I'm doing like direct notes, not just a collective idea. Now, I don't know if I have to review it this way, but we are doing discussions, so I kind of want it to be a little bit detailed. But I probably can summarize. I don't know how much details I need for the discussion. I'll find that out later, but we shall see. But also, if you all are around for the Right Now-a-thon, if you're attending the Right Now-a-thon this year, which is online, is on Jared Kaufman's channel right now. It's called Right Now, which is really catchy. And I did participate one year in the Right Now-a-thon. So he does it a little bit differently, where you come on his stream and do your live stream through his platform. So you know how the AWC does it. You have your own lives that you do through your channel, and it's just linked through. You know, people find it through the link you share. So, so you stream through his platform, and he was asking me about music, because they have music, like you need the rights to it and all that jazz. But I have my own album for my book that I use a lot of time for these streams. I don't always use it, because some people prefer silence when they're writing. But I don't have like the copyright, the license code on hand, because I got this album made like in 21. So I'd have to go back through like my contract and paperwork that I did with Mitsuo, who's of Tribal Snake, who created the album, the composer, because we did a collaboration. So he sells it. He makes all the money from the CDs that he sells and the MP3 that he sells, and I have rights to use it because it's my book, and I let him use the cover of the audio book's cover to put as CD cover. So we have an agreement. I can use it. I can use it. It's copyrighted. His copyright, but I have rights to it because it's based off of my book. But Kaufman wanted it just in case, like, you get hit with a copyright. You wouldn't get hit with a copyright for that, because there's no license put in with YouTube for the album. So it wouldn't get a red flag. I've used it for years, but not even bothering with the code. Just mentioning that I have the copyright. But yeah, I would have to go through paperwork, but not a big deal. And I told him he can use, because they have some music they can use. I told him just go ahead and use that. There's no need to go through all the trouble. And also keep it simple for that. But if you're around for the Right Now-a-thon, then I will be doing a live stream workshop type thing. It's a live stream with writing sprints, but the dump the idea. So it's called like dump the idea, and I'm gonna lead you through that. How I like to dump my idea, do character direction. So I have a whole like thing set up, like the amount of time we use for each section, and so I'll lead you through that so you could dump your newest idea or maybe an idea you've been thinking of as of recently to get you started. So it's only an hour. Yeah, I think it's an hour that we have. So if you are around during that time, it's at the end of the month. It's after Christmas, so I will be sharing on my community post about it once I have the links and stuff ready to go. Aphrodite, I am super right now. Oh no, and I am may fade out before we finish. Just a heads up. Oh yeah, I know, no worries. You're not. That's cool. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and start the last sprint so that we will be finishing on time tonight at 8. And yeah, I'll see you in 30 minutes. Let me go ahead and change this to a different stream that you can see what I watch. See dramas. Let's do this one. All right, I'll see you in 30 minutes. Happy writing. And that's time. I'm over here dancing every time I hear that one. I love classical music, so I was like shaking my head. All right. Actually, somebody comes up here. Jen. Hey, how you doing? And she said, hello, Aphrodite. Yeah, late, but you still made it. But we're at the end. That was the last sprint of the night because I started at 6. But yeah, but on Tuesdays I'm here at 8:30. So if you're a later streamer, then like jumping on streams, then yeah. I'll be here on Tuesdays at 8:30. I switched my time from 6. And Sundays is 6, but Tuesdays is now 8:30 because I homeschool, so I have to like push back my during the week stream because I teach in the evening. So I was like, oh. So yeah. Good night, and you got your package. I'm so happy. Yay. So yeah, I did have one thing to mention before everybody goes. Aphrodite is running a Kickstarter right now, and it funded within like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. But let me share it real quick because I did want to mention it here before we close out. But yeah, so this is the Kickstarter. It's the True Goddess Apothecary Embolic Ritual Box. So it's candles. So who doesn't want candles? A romantic version that is spiritual as well. Like it's pretty freaking cool. She has a video here, and it's not very long.
Hello, I'm Aphrodite Lee, writer, filmmaker, artist, and creator of ritual magic. For years, I dreamed of creating something magical, something handmade, and something that honors the wheel of the year. And today, I'm inviting you into that vision. Every season carries its own magic, its own rhythm, its own invitation to pause, breathe, and reconnect. In bulk, the Festival of Returning Light is where our journey begins. The Bright Renewal in bulk box is crafted entirely by hand by me. Every candle is hand poured. Every herb, crystal, and charm is selected with intention to support clarity, peace, and the gentle spark of new beginnings. Inside your box, you'll find a curated ritual collection, a 12-ounce in bulk candle, crystals for clarity and manifestation, herbs for awakening and renewal, a spell scroll to guide your intentions, a seasonal charm, and seed paper you can plant as a living symbol of growth. This campaign also includes handmade Sabbath soaps and incense sticks created to match the energy of each season. And for those who want to deepen their practice, there are exclusive add-ons like altar cloths and beautifully bound journals, all designed to complement your sacred space. When you back this project, you're supporting a one-woman apothecary, True Goddess Apothecary, and helping me bring this entire Wheel of the Year collection to life. Your support doesn't just help me create, it helps me grow. And as we reach stretch goals, even more magic unlocks, including the next Sabbath box in the series. Thank you for being here, for believing in handmade magic, and for helping this dream step into the returning light. Blessed in bulk, and blessed be.
Okay, so that is the trailer for the Kickstarter. It funded, but she needs everyone's help still because this helps her get ahead with her business starting out. And I love supporting small businesses that so one day they can become a bigger business. And this is an awesome message. I love that because we all need something to help us relax, to feel ourselves spiritually. So I love this whole idea, this whole message that she has going on. So if you want to donate or support, we say, for Kickstarters, then the link is in the in the chat. I will link it and put it in the description for anyone who watches on replay, but it is in the chat currently. If you're here, you can click that to save it for later, or if you're going to support now, or share it with someone who's interested, because honestly, again, who doesn't want an awesome candle? And I think Aphrodite, Jen said, yeah, you seeing it. You got it. Yep, already working on it. Yeah, right? I don't know who, listen, you're not a cool person if you ain't, this doesn't interest you. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? So the rewards are really, really cool. I support it already, of course, because it's so awesome. But let me see, that's my selection. Let's see if they have it. I think it's just on the page if I just scroll down. But let's see if I scroll like this. Here we go. So here you can see the different one. I picked this one, but it's further down. It's the Bright Renewal. But also the cool thing about if you get one of the higher tiers, you can do a payment plan. So it has like a 3-month payment plan, which makes it more affordable for it to be broken down. So if you do get one of the higher tiers, that's what you could actually utilize, or you could do right out. And it doesn't end for 27 more days. So you have time. So it's not like it will come out tonight if you do decide to support. But going forward, this is the early bird option, which I don't know if that's still active, Aphrodite. I'm not sure. It doesn't tell me if it ended already, because I can't pick on anything because I already backed it. But this is the early version of this the one tier that's down here that's 45. So if you got here early, you get it for 35. If you got here late, then you get it for 45. So either way, it's still a pretty good price for the box. You know what I mean? And then like they have a $65 tier. And if you click the link, you can go read all these. And then you can't get the tier that I have is up here. It's actually would have been below the 65, but since I already backed this tier, that's why it's popped to the top. But the Bright Renewal one, which I thought was cool because this one brings double the light intention and ritual magic into your life, or share it with a friend. So it's like double, like I need the double, of course. And there's so many cool things in it. You heard the incense. I went back and added a little bit because I wanted to add something to it. So I went and picked one of the add-ons as well to mine. So you get do add-ons. Also, if we manage to get this higher, if it gets higher, then you unlock other things, which that's what I always like about Kickstarter. Like we kind of working as a team to get the funding done, and we could get other stuff, which is really, really cool because we want the stuff. And supporting is very important. This is the biggest one at $250. Again, if you get one of the higher tiers, then you have the option to do a payment plan, which I think, again, is very helpful for budgets. But this one's really cool. I was like, wish I had the time, I would have got this one. This was really, really cool. But yeah, so if you're interested, then please, by all means, share it, back it. The lowest tier, Aphrodite, I'm sorry, I'm not on the screen, so I didn't get to even see if you said anything about it. It's still available now. Okay, cool. So the lowest tier is $35, which is pretty cool for the box. It's crazy. But yeah, definitely check it out. Like, oh my goodness. But yeah, this is such a cool style business. Black woman owned too, which I'm very supportive in that for sure. And just small businesses, I always want to support small business, and Aphrodite is part of the author community, so how could we not support her? So please do share the information. If you come across this on replay, then you know what to do. Share it. If you're into candles, or if you know someone who is, then it's a great gift at any time of the year. And this being themed, like, it's very thought out. There's nothing simple about this, so I think it's super cool. So I'm excited for when it's done and like waiting for my stuff in the mail. So I know I'll be subscribing to trying to get some boxes on a regular. So looking forward to that going forward. But yeah, I'm glad that she funded. But again, she could use more funds. You can never have too much for a business starting up. As a business owner, I know this to be true. So again, if you're watching this on replay, check the description box for the link to her Kickstarter. Still got 27 days, so it's plenty of time to get the word out there. And if you're interested, you already know what to do again. Alrighty, so I think that's it, except for myself. I have a short horror story. Well, it's vampire, dark romance horror that comes out on Tuesday. It is Obsessed, the release of Obsessed, which is a short story. But it's in paperback and it's an ebook. But you get it for 99 cents, or you could get it for free on Kindle Unlimited. So that's a treat. You know what I mean? But I shared that on, it's in the link in the description, of course, because it's still up for pre-order. And the paperback comes out, if you're more of a physical book owner, the paperback for it comes out on the 20th. So it's a couple days different than the release for the ebook. So if you're into the darker type of stuff and vampire stuff, then you know what to do on that. All right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and head out. Thank you for being here tonight. I did get a lot of good reading in and got that done. I hope you got something done. If you missed me, then you can catch me again on Tuesday at 8:30 and again on Sunday at 6 p.m. And until next time, stay scared.